Good morning, Your Excellencies, honourable representatives, distinguished guests from Bulgaria and across the globe. And to our online participants, welcome wherever you are joining us from any corner of the world.
For you, good morning, good afternoon or good evening, and thank you for being here.
It is a great honour to welcome you all to the 9th UN Tourism Global Conference on Wine Tourism.
За Пловдив е чест да е домакин на 9-та глобална конференция по вино.
It's an honor for Plovdiv to host the 9th UN Tourism Global Conference on Wine Tourism.
Please remember interpretation is available.
Select Channel 1 for English, Channel 2 for Bulgarian, Channel 3 for French, and Channel 4 for Spanish.
And Channel 5 for me. My name is Mark Fowler, and I will be one of your guides through this exciting journey around the art of wine tourism.
My name is Lily Burzeva. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you to my city. The city of historic city of Plovdiv, one of Europe's oldest wine capitals with more than 5,000 years of winemaking traditions.
Your city and already my city.
No,
and
my
city.
No, my.
Our city. Welcome to our city, ladies and gentlemen. This indeed is a city of traditions. Traditions in music, creativity and living heritage. And as an opera singer from Australia, I can tell you that this stage is a very, very special stage indeed. The House of Culture of Plovdiv. It is also the home of Opera Plovdiv. Now, usually, as a tenor, I would sing here. But I promised Lily and our guests, I promise not to turn this conference into a matinee performance.
You promise?
Obestava.
Okay, we will see. Although, Mark, I have to admit, many say that wine and opera make great companions. Both are made with passion, skill, and the result is shared emotions.
That's true, Lily. And like a good wine, a conference like this one is all about bringing people together. Their ideas, their voices, and their perspectives gathered from all around the world. And on this stage with Lily, we have shared many emotions together. We have hosted award ceremonies, we have hosted concerts, and the culmination of emotions being the Faces of Plovdiv 2019 Capital of Culture. Only this time, Lily, we are speaking in English, not Bulgarian.
Yes, this is my first time hosting in English, so please wish me luck. Like Mark said, that Plovdiv was European Capital of Culture 2019, but now in 2025 we aim to be the capital of wine tourism, which brings us to the theme of this year's conference. The art of wine tourism explores wine tourism as a stage for cultural exchange, sustainable local development, and innovative experiences that resonate with local communities and diverse travelers, including younger generations and the exploration of new markets.
And what better place to bring this all together but here in Plovdiv, a city interwoven in history, tradition, innovation, and modern life. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin this journey together.
Zajedno.
Please join us in welcoming, ladies and gentlemen, to deliver his opening remarks, the Mayor of Plovdiv.
Mr. Костадин Димитров. Заповядайте на сцената.
Dear Mr. General Secretary Okashvili, dear Mr. of Tourism, Mr. of Agriculture, dear guests from abroad, dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, It is my great honor to welcome you in the oldest living city of Europe, Plovdiv, to participate in the 9th Global Wine Tourism Conference. This is not a forum only. It is an opportunity to show the potential of Plovdiv with all the ingredients of the tourist brand. Plovdiv combines authenticity and ancient life, innovation, history, and future. It is a cultural, educational, logistical, transportation, and industrial center of Bulgaria. Important ingredient in terms of tourism is events, cultural, and wine tourism. That's why taking care of our heritage is an important part of our work. We are the only Bulgarian city that annually has planned a 10% increase of expenses for culture, which makes us occupy a first place on a national level. It has a number of festivals, exhibitions of national and international importance. Plovdiv attracts with its wine festivals. Here in the center, heart of Thracia, wine has been revered for thousands of years. The city is a preferred destination for exciting tours dedicated to wine and authentic cuisine. Culinary travels combine excellent wines, hospitality, and the atmosphere of restaurants in Capana and other places. Every year, the city organizes an international exhibition of winemaking and the défilé of young wine, etc. In March, European Best Destination identified us as the best wine capital in Europe for 2025. This is a motive for the municipality to develop wine tourism. Our wish to identify Plovdiv as a place for wine tourism, to attract tourists who are searching for authentic experiences with culture and gastronomy. In this connection, the UN conference is in the right time, in the right place in Plovdiv. At a year where there is a 22% growth of foreign accommodation increase. We're proud of our University of Food and Flavor Technologies, a leading university with programs for technology of winemaking. The other leading university, Agrarian University, has a department of viticulture with a contemporary experimental station with 300-hectare base for growing vines. Bulgaria is one of the leading countries in Europe with a variety of grapes. As a municipality, we organize events that represent crafts and culinary traditions. We support initiatives for presenting the non-material historical heritage with wine tasting, folklore, and exhibitions. We work towards including local organizations. We support wine producers from the region and Bulgaria to open their doors for tourists. We create a platform for promoting authentic Bulgarian wine culture. That's why I believe that these 2 days will promote the global debate for the future of wine tourism, for marketing, technology, sustainability, and authenticity. I believe that Plovdiv will remain in the hearts of people as a meeting place of culture where wine becomes a symbol of friendship and tradition and innovation are hand in hand. Welcome to Plovdiv, the city which brings people together and creates experiences remembered for the lifetime. I would like to thank the Minister of Tourism and Mr. General Secretary for this opportunity, because Plovdiv is a high bar. With this event, we will rise and we will be excellent host for this global conference for wine tourism. Good luck. Thank you.
Благодарим на господин Костадин Димитров, кмет на град Пловдив, за топ.
Thank you, Mayor Dimitrov, for your warm welcome, and may your wishes come true.
We invite Mr. Georgi Tahov, Minister of Agriculture and Food, who will emphasize the strong connection between tourism and wine, which promotes Bulgaria's rich cultural and agricultural heritage. Please make him welcome to the stage.
Заповядайте на сцената, министър Тахов. Заповядайте, микрофонът е ваш.
You have the floor, dear Minister. Thank you, dear Mr. Ulikashvili, dear Mr. Borshush, dear Mr. Dimitrov, dear Mrs. Vandakova, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to welcome you, the participants in the 9th Global Conference of the United Nations, where Bulgaria and Plovdiv in particular is privileged to host. Today's topic, the art of wine tourism, is especially close to our country because wine is part of our history. Wine is part of our culture, as it is part of our identity. Since Thracian times, wine has accompanied Bulgarians. It's been a symbol of hospitality, traditions, and festivity. The ancient skills of winemakers are combined with innovations today and modern technology to create wines with character, combined with innovations and modern technology. Bulgaria is an established producer complying with high standards, and we share completely the European policy for high standards in making individualized, environmentally free and healthy wine products. Bulgaria has a large variety of climate, soil and nature for perfect conditions for wine growing and wine making. Vineyards are over 55,000 hectares. 61% of that is dedicated for wine with protected origin and geographical label. In 2024, we manufactured over 67.2 million liters of wine. Our country has 363 sites for making wine that open doors for new wineries and maintain the interest of consumers and fans alike. And we also attract many new fans. The great quality, the uniqueness of Bulgarian wines are a prerequisite for the successful positioning on the international markets. We export wine to over 50 countries in Western and Central Europe. Let me mention a small part: Poland, Czech Republic, Sweden, UK, Italy. We export to Eastern markets: China, Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, as well as we have a stable market in the USA. Ministry of Agriculture and Food actively supports the sector through the Common Agricultural Policy. And in the Strategic Plan for Development, Agriculture and Rural Areas, up to 27, there are 162.2 million level for investment in this sector for environmental facilities, restructuring and conversion of vineyards. Successfully apply this intervention for insurance of the harvest to fight natural disasters and climate change. Bulgaria offers a wide variety of international varieties to unique local ones such as Mavrut, Shiroka Melnishka, Rubin, Pamid, Vrachansky, Sandansky, and Varnansky Misket. Their revival changes the shape of winery industry and offers opportunities for wine tourism with traditions, wine tasting, and cultural experience. The Ministry of Agriculture and Food supports the efforts of the wine industry for a strong international image of the country as a producer of quality wine and initiatives for redrawing the wine map of Bulgaria to promote wine tourism and new marketing strategies. We support holding a number of wine festivals and expositions in the country and worldwide, such as the international competition Sauvignon Selection Mondial de Bruxelles in Burgas, another participation of the country with a national kiosk in the biggest international province in Düsseldorf, Germany, is going to be supported too. So wine tourism is not just travel, it's experience, meeting nature, culture, and all this sets this magic that we feel. Our ambition is Bulgaria to be established as a place where tourists not only taste wines, but to discover the spirit of an ancient land with a modern face, modern image. So I'm happy this forum collects the best, gathers the best professionals from this sector, and I believe that new ideas will be born, new partnerships will be formed, and also guidelines for the future of wine tourism to be a bridge between cultures, traditions, and economies. I wish success to the 9th Global Conference of Wine Tourism, and let this experience open new horizons of wine tourism of Bulgaria and worldwide. Thank you. Thank you.
Bulgaria. Now it gives me great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to invite on stage Mr. Zurab Pololikashvili, Secretary General of UN Tourism. Please make him welcome.
Mr. Pololikashvili has been a steadfast friend to Bulgaria.
Our partnership is built on mutual respect, collaboration, and a shared goal of advancing tourism.
A driver of economic and cultural growth, and reflects the long-standing friendship between Bulgaria and UN Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General.
Thank you, dear Mark and Lily. You said everything what was written in this speech, I think, already. And Dobry den. Very happy to be back to our city, as you mentioned. Welcome to our city, to Plovdiv. I want to express my special thanks to Mayor and his team, who was very supportive to organize this, the best event, because I always say that all of us who attended millions of conferences, but UN Tourism, Wine Tourism Conference is the best conferences you can ever attend. This is the most boring part now, the opening session. Welcome. I want to welcome all participants, and I see that there are friends coming from Japan, from Australia, all over the world, from Chile. I see Pilar, and very happy to be together here. And this is, as you can see, it's 9th edition of our conference, which means that 9 years we are organizing this very important event in different parts of the world. We started with my very good colleague Sandra Carvao just 1 year before I was elected. It was like new kind of event to promote the wine tourism destination, and 9th edition, it means that it's very popular. It's becoming more and more trendy, more interesting with its content. We will have here wine break instead of coffee traditional breaks, and that's why it's different and it's very important. Now, why we are in Bulgaria and why we are in Plovdiv, and I want to greet and express many thanks to our dear Minister of Tourism, dear Miroslav. Thank you. First of all, we came here because of our friendship and sympathy to Minister, to his excellent teams. And by the way, I realize that I have a lot of friends in Bulgaria, but at the same time, we, during our conversations, agreed that Bulgarian cuisine and wine, it's not as well promoted internationally as deserved. And that was the main idea to organize this event in Plovdiv, which is a beautiful city. I'm sure that you will have an opportunity. Don't worry about weather. This is the best weather to drink wine. And I think you can, you can feel that it's very nice, very different, very unique and authentic place. And the main goal from this conference has to be that if wine lovers knows perfectly the words Bordeaux, La Rioja, Malbec, forget, please remember the old and maybe for you new words, which you will heard a lot in Plovdiv, and Mavrud. Mavrud is the local kind of wine. You will try, I'm sure, many times during these 2-3 days. And this is something different, you know. All wines are good. All wines are different, like people. And Bulgaria is something new. It's not only Varna and Black Sea Coast. This is what we wanted to promote and to start from today, and to position wine tourism and cultural tourism like a new destination and new attractiveness of the country. And you will see and you will feel that this is the place to be. And as the Minister of Agriculture mentioned, that this is very timely to organize this event in Bulgaria. This edition is directly linked to arts, and this is the first time where we wanted to promote like a wine, art, and culture together. And also thank you, Minister, for your creative and innovative idea. There will be nice surprises. We have opera concert. We have different kind of expositions in the city. You will see, as it was mentioned, the Plovdiv was capital city of Europe, European capital of culture in 2019. So, plus you will meet many interesting people in this conference, many interesting new contacts, new opportunities, and I think it will be very interesting to spend these 2-3 days together and talk how we can promote, how we can innovate in wine tourism industry. And welcome again to Plovdiv. Very important, again, Minister mentioned investments. This is the place to invest, and we were working on guidelines why everyone has to invest in Bulgaria. And there are many reasons to invest, not only in wine tourism. I'm sure that there is a lot of opportunities to invest around in hotel industry and restaurants. So this will be the next event, I hope, to come and to attend in Plovdiv and in Bulgaria. Bulgaria has a lot of opportunities, and this is old but new kind of history of the tourism of country, and I'm sure that you will be back. And please come back again. This is my trip number 7 or 8, and not last, I'm sure. And I'm happy to see more and more new developments, new projects in the country, and it shows how important tourism industry is for the government, and I wish all the best and good luck, because competition is too high, but this is something unique, authentic, and very interesting and new for international visitors. Thank you and welcome to Plovdiv, and have a nice stay in this beautiful country. Благодаря.
Now it's time to say thank you for
Thank
your
you.
words and for your leadership in global tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General. I personally will help you in promoting the Mavrud from Plovdiv, so you know. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure to present to you our host, the Minister of Tourism for the Republic of Bulgaria, Mr. Miroslav Borshosh. Please make him welcome.
Заповядайте, господин Боршев.
Welcome to my country and to one of our most beautiful and impressive cities, Plovdiv. Dear Mr. General Secretary General, yes, opening ceremonies, perhaps one of the most boring parts, but it's exciting for me that together with you, thanks to our joint work, Bulgaria accepted this responsibility to be a host of one of the largest and most important conferences in wine tourism. I'd like to thank you especially, Sandra, Cordula, the whole team actually, and just like grapes builds little by little to become good wine. Little by little, our two teams managed to organize, I believe, at the level worthy of the international tourism, this conference. Thank you once again for this opportunity, and I'm happy that the chair for international policy is here, because this is part of our international policy, and wine tourism will be part of our foreign policy, international policy. Thank you for being here and for showing respect to this conference. One of my favorite ministers, Minister Tahov, although we deal with different things, you try to export wine, and I'm trying to import people to taste it. So actually we work together. And this makes an impression when all government institutions look in the same direction and share professionalism and their dreams on how our country should look abroad and here too. So I'd like to address the mayor of Plovdiv. Your team is not just worthy of respect, but it's a great pleasure working with you. When with the Secretary General, we chose the city to host the global conference on wine tourism, we did not hesitate. Plovdiv will be at the level it has always been for such forums. Our great experience in the organization, your self-esteem as a city, did their magic, and we see the results. I'd like to thank you for your commitment, you and your team. We have a number of partners. This glass was filled little by little with people who supported us, but there were people, quality people, dedicated to Bulgarian organization of wine tourism, set up in the year that we were hosts, and I wish success. They know that with us they have a very good partner. We have some challenges on national level, what to do for wine tourism, but I believe we're in the right direction. The organization of wine professionals for their commitment to their work, Bulgarian Telegraph Agency, BTA, and its head, what we did over the last months. We flooded with our campaign the country for wine tourism. I'd like to thank my colleagues from the Ministry of Tourism, a great team, an extraordinary team who were really very organized, although they looked a little bit in delirium during the last days because of so much work they did. And last but not least, the winemakers and the creators of wine tourism. Bulgaria right now has some of the best experts in the world. But at the same time, they will meet extremely dedicated dreamers who have committed themselves to wine and tourism. And I believe this meeting will produce something very good for my country. I hope you will see an extremely dedicated people, a great, magnificent country to taste my country, because wine has all of this: the culture, the history, the nature, and mostly the labor by the people, their dreams. And I believe you will touch this, you will experience this. Thank you, Mark, for being a master of the ceremonies at this conference. Try to be sober and smiling till the end. Do your best. Once again, welcome to Bulgaria. Live it, taste it, and take this memory to your countries. Thank you.
Borchers.
Thank you, Minister Borchers, for the beautiful and kind words. I will kindly ask you to stay on the stage for a while, and
Please join us again on stage. Thanking you.
Today, we are very happy to celebrate Bulgaria's rich heritage.
And on this occasion, as part of UN Tourism's strong commitment to promote Bulgarian wine tourism, they are proud to present the Wine Routes of Bulgaria. In it, you will discover Bulgaria through its unique wines, landscapes, and traditional dishes, all paired with art and love for the locals. We kindly ask the photographers to make a photograph to capture this moment in history.
Sure, that's okay.
Изключително важна, защото видях
it is particularly important because I saw how big countries, wine tourism, placed the logo, and it was the dream of Bulgaria with the World Organization to create this chef-d'oeuvre, and Bulgaria is among the big leading countries who have hosted it: Argentina, Chile, Italy. So this is one of our accomplishments. Thank you. Thank you. You can take your places, and we can congratulate ourselves for achieving it.
Mira Kudukova, board member of Bulgarian Association of Wine Professionals. Заповядайте, Красимира Кудукова, заповядайте на сцената.
Welcome to Plovdiv. I'm a Mavrud ambassador as well. Yesterday, you attended Urban Wine Fest Plovdiv, and I'm sure that now you know what Mavrud is. But what does it mean to be a Mavrud ambassador? It is definitely an honor. It is a responsibility. My responsibility today is to make you fall in love with Bulgarian wine. What is art? Art is something that excites. In order to be excited, we have to experience it. And experiencing art is the best way to discover the beauty of the world through the centuries. Bulgarian wine is an art. Bulgarian wine is the most authentic way to fall in love with Bulgaria. You have probably visited countries with rich in cultural heritage. There are many countries with great hospitality, countries where you can ski and ride a wave along the beautiful beaches, countries where with a remarkable nature and hidden gems to discover. You have been in countries, or maybe you live in countries, some of them the most famous wine countries in the world. Now, imagine a place where you can experience all this in a unique blend. Bulgarian wine is an immersive art that honors millennial traditions. It welcomes with warm hospitality. It combines a variety of experiences in harmony. It respects a pure and diverse terroirs and local grape varieties, and be sure that there is always something new to be discovered. That is why we, from the Bulgarian Association of Wine Professionals, chose to present Bulgarian wine through the abbreviation blend, because the meaning of this word is combination, and every single letter represents a part of the Bulgarian wine journey. B for Bulgaria and its heritage, L for love, E for experiences, N for nature, and D for discovery. We have prepared 5 4-minute video presentations for you for each letter. Now enjoy the first one. Video, please. Bulgaria.
What if travel could be an immersive blend of adventure, authenticity, and artistry? Imagine a country where ancient Thracian heritage meets contemporary cellar mastery. Bulgaria is a living blend of culture, terroir, and hospitality, inviting you to taste both its history and its future. Some traditions never fade. They just wait for you to discover them. 5,000 years ago, the Thracians knew something about wine that the world forgot. Wine is beyond grapes. It is the bond between earth human hands, and something sacred. In Bulgaria, that knowledge never left. Generations hand it forward with quiet devotion. Cellars rest like chambers of time. Bottles shine as vessels of memory and wisdom. From the Danube plain to the Thracian lowlands, and the Black Sea coast, vineyards breathe among rivers, mountains and sea, carrying a heritage of sanctuaries in stone, vessels of gold and clay, and rituals for gods and seasons. Local grapes, Mavrud, Melnik, Dimyat, Red Muscat, still define the glass, carrying the spirit of Thrace forward. when you taste Bulgarian wine, you enter one of the world's oldest living stories. A heritage you can savour, a history you can hold, a land where every sip carries the voice of civilization. This is the blend of Bulgaria. A journey into taste, culture, and a way of life. This is your invitation to become part of something that lingers long after the last glass is shared.
This picture is from yesterday on the Urban Wine Fest, Plovdiv, without glasses, but I need it now. So, when was the last time you fell in love with someone, with something, with a place, with local grape varieties like Mavrut? Falling in love is not for everyone. It takes courage. Because love is not just a feeling. It is the art of giving your heart to something unforgettable, like the fest yesterday. Those who love wine know what falling in love feels like. It happens quietly and sometimes suddenly. You fall in love not with what is perfect, but with what moves you. With wine, with the wine or the place that can turn a moment into a memory. Every great love has a story. It has discovery, it has challenge, it has nature. And just like winemakers say, it becomes a perfect blend. The perfect blend turns diversity into harmony. It turns differences into something you can describe with one word: love. Bulgarian blend, Bulgarian wine is a blend made to be shared. Its charm doesn't come from perfection or fame. It comes from something real, from the blend of experiences, traditions, nature, discovery, and people who give their hearts to their craft. Every bottle holds a piece of that story. And as a Mavrud ambassador, my mission is to share and to tell the story of Bulgarian wine as a blend in which everyone can find a reason to fall in love. And if you cannot remember the last time you fell in love, perhaps it means that you are ready to fall in love again and to share that feeling. Bulgaria, a blend to share. Video, please.
What if travel could be an immersive blend of adventure, authenticity, and artistry? Imagine a country where ancient Thracian heritage meets contemporary cellar mastery. Bulgaria is a living blend of culture, terroir, and hospitality, inviting you to taste both its history and its future. What if strangers welcomed you like family? What if every tasting felt like coming home? In Bulgaria, hospitality is a birthright. Families craft wine as they welcome you into their story. Winemakers open their doors with pride. and every glass is an invitation. Here, a tasting becomes a feast. A visit becomes a friendship. A bottle becomes a bridge between worlds. Love is hospitality made visible. Feel the warmth of hands that have worked these vines for generations. Taste wine poured by people who remember your name. Here, every meeting is a celebration, and every guest belongs. This is what wine was always meant to be. Love, poured into a glass. This is the blend of Bulgaria. A journey into taste, culture, and a way of life. This is your invitation to become part of something that lingers long after the last glass is shared.
You will have the chance to see the rest of the videos during the lunch break and during the master classes. Thank you for your attention and have a wonderful stay in Plovdiv and in Bulgaria. Cheers.
Благодарим на Красимира Кудукова.
We would like to thank Krasimira Kodukova for the emotional words.
It's time to continue on our journey of inspiration and discovery.
Our first session will explore wine tourism as a driver of economic diversification and social inclusion.
Now we would kindly invite our speakers to the stage.
Her Excellency Mrs. Irena Georgieva, Deputy Minister of Tourism of Bulgaria.
Her Excellency Miss Anna Karamanli, Deputy Minister of Greece.
Dr. Elif Bauja Fisunulu, Vice General Manager, Tourism Operations and Development, Turkey Tourism Promotion and Development Agency.
Ms. Irena Todorova, Executive Director of the UNESCO Regional Office in Sofia.
Mr. Andrei Orlandovic, Director General and Ministry of Tourism of Montenegro.
And ladies and gentlemen, to guide us through this session, please make welcome Ms. Cordula Volmuta, Regional Director for Europe, UN Tourism.
The stage is yours, please.
Dobro utro, dobri den. Dobrodošli, good morning, welcome, and a big hello. It's great being here in Plovdiv. Thank you so much to the hosts for having us. Thank you to the mayor of Plovdiv for organizing and letting us having this conference here today. We are very pleased to have this opportunity to organize this conference together with the Ministry of Tourism of Bulgaria. Now, we have heard the meaning of wine, especially in the last videos, so if I may summarize this, when I have a glass of wine in my hand, then there is all this history in it. It's the soil, it's the care of the people, the weather, the landscape, the love, the adventure, which in the end, it makes it a powerful tool for tourism purposes. That means wine tourism is an opportunity to attract people to a destination where they slow down and where they start interacting with the local communities. So this is one thing, the authentic experiences, which is not easy to get nowadays. So authentic experiences for the visitor, while at the same time it is a tool for rural development, it's a tool for job creation and empowerment of local communities. So I think it's a very powerful tool that can be used in tourism. So the panel that we are having today, and I'm very, very pleased to have these high-level experts from national governments and institutions with us to discuss policy strategies, cross-border collaboration, and integration of wine tourism with broader tourism themes. That is an outstanding panel of leaders, and I look forward to leading this conversation with them. Because at the same time, when we discuss wine tourism, we are obviously in need of strategies, of partnerships, long-term vision, and only by doing that to ensure its full potential can unfold. So my first question goes to our dear host, Madam Deputy Minister. Your Excellency, first of all, thank you again for this outstanding event, for organizing it. Can you share with us some of the key initiatives of the Bulgarian Ministry of Tourism that are particularly relevant to the development of the wine tourism sector in your country?
Благодаря много.
Thank you very much, Cordula. Thank you, everybody, for the involvement of this conference, because the topic that gathers us is extremely important. Several times it was mentioned that wine tourism has an exceptional meaning for the development of sustainable tourism, because that's the tourism of experience, a possibility for local communities, tourism for possibilities for family business, and of course keeping young people to stay in their birthplaces with their roots, doing something that is part of Bulgarian life. What Bulgarian Ministry of Tourism does in the process of preparing this conference was clear. We have a national organization for this specialized type of tourism. One of the prerequisites to combine the efforts of private and public sectors, and we believe this is a key factor, uniting the efforts of public and private sectors. We have the good examples of the municipalities who, developing wine tourism, create possibilities for combining it with other types of tourism, spa tourism, cultural and historic tourism, and Ministry of Tourism supports these initiatives. We have the good examples of other small municipalities where wine tourism is combined with the festivity tourism, which are possibilities that Ministry of Tourism facilitates and supports so that they be disseminated as good practices. Of course, the marketing steps, the digitization, that we at the beginning of implementing such activities, they have their objectives in popularizing wine tourism. Ministry looks at this tourism as a very direct and prompt opportunity for developing all of the types of specialized tourism and actually achieving the priority goal of the ministry, Bulgaria be a country of sustainable all year round tourism.
Serve also in UN tourism, and I'm dealing as a regional director for Europe every day with 41 member states, that we see also that Bulgaria is paying a lot of attention to high quality and definitely also a lot of attention to sustainable practices and sustainability and inclusion as such. We definitely can observe this. Thank you so much for sharing these insights with us, dear Deputy Minister Irina Georgieva. With this, I turn to your counterpart in Greece. It's my pleasure to welcome Deputy Minister Anna Karamanli from Greece with us. It's great having you here. Your Excellency, Greece is internationally recognized for its rich winemaking traditions. From your perspective, how is wine tourism contributing to the broader tourism offering in Greece? And importantly, what coordination mechanisms exist with the private sector, with local destinations and other ministries such as Ministry of Agriculture?
Good morning. Oinos, I will speak to my language, in my language. Ο Ίνος είναι άρρηκτα δεμένος με τον ελληνικό πολιτισμό, με τη φιλοσοφία, με τη διατροφή, με την κοινωνικότητα. Γεγονός που τον καθιστά θεμελιώδη στοιχείο της εθνικής μας ταυτότητας Ελλάδας. Όπως μαρτυρούν σύγχρονα ευρήματα, ήδη από την αρχαιότητα, οι Έλληνες είχαν αναγνωρίσει την διατροφική αξία του κρασιού μας. Το κρασί υπήρξε βασικό μέρος της καθημερινής ζωής, της καθημερινής διατροφής.
An important part of daily eating is part of philosophical discussions during symposia. Wine tourism in Greece is not an alternative form of tourism. It is a strategic instrument for sustainable development. It is a network of infrastructure, services and activities in which wine production and viticulture are important. I must say a few words of what wine tourism contributes to. Wine tourism contributes to diversification of tourist products and extends the tourist season, attracting visitors round the year. It supports sustainability and development of local economies. It attracts visitors with high income who are looking for quality, authentic experiences and increases the extroversion of Greek wine production and enhances the cultural gastronomic heritage of our country. Developing wine tourism in Greece is based on coordination and collaboration, uniting the public sector, the academic community, and the private sector. Wine tourism, as well as gastronomical tourism, are two fast-developing sectors. For this purpose, there are significant institutional initiatives like National Council for Wine Tourism, which identifies a framework including the public and private sector to create authentic experiences for the visitors. Part of this National Council has signed a memorandum with the hotel sector. This collaboration integrates wine products in the tourist products provided by hotels, and this enforces and enhances the local economy. The hotel owners and restaurant owners combine their efforts to extend their services to visits of wine cellars, and the regional tourism sector includes representatives from all 13 areas of the country. They exchange information and good practices, encouraging partnership between all sides.
Other stakeholders are involved in this process, and how holistic we need to look at the development of wine tourism in the country, that it's not such an easy thing actually, because there are lots of stakeholders involved. So I believe that is incredibly important in order to make this successful. From Greece, I wish to move to Turkey. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Elif Balçefi-Sunoglu. You are the Deputy CEO of the Turkish Tourism Agency. Now, also Turkey has amazing vineyard heritage from Thrace to Anatolia. In what ways can vineyard landscapes and rural communities be integrated with the broader tourism themes, such as cycling, gastronomy, heritage, and cultural travel?
Thank you very much. It's a big pleasure being here, and thank you, Bulgaria, for hosting us. We're so proud to be, as Turkey, one of the world's oldest lands of viticulture, a bridge between Thrace and Anatolia, where grape cultivation has shaped communities and landscapes for almost over 8 millennia. In Thrace, vineyards roll between the Black Sea and the Aegean, while Anatolia, the cradle of grape domestication, offer volcanic soils and ancient valleys where traditions are still alive. Our approach is to present these landscapes not as standalone experiences, but as living cultural systems that connect people, nature, and stories. The visitor journey is designed to be active, participatory, and deeply local. And on the cycling side, for instance, Turkey's vineyard routes are now harmonized with Eurovelo network. Eurovelo 13, the Iron Curtain Trail, crosses the Thrace wine route, linking Turkish vineyards with Greece and Bulgaria through scenic border landscapes. And when it comes to Izmir, Eurovelo 8, again connecting Turkey and Greece, it is the Mediterranean route of Eurovelo, through the heart of Urlas vineyards, a region that has also become one of our top gastronomy destinations, home to several Michelin Green and Red Star restaurants, where local produce meets the culinary invitation. And in Cappadocia, another destination where wine is really very traditional and famous within Turkey, which is soon to also appear in the Michelin Guide for the first time this year, vineyard tourism blends naturally with mountain biking, trekking, and ultra-trail activities, offering an adventure-based year-round experience. And from the heritage perspective, vineyard routes also connect to UNESCO sites, such as Ephesus, which lies directly on a cycling trail, Eurovelo 8 again, and nearby Şirince, where visitors can join wine tastings and community-run experiences. And Şirince, I have to mention that, is also a United UN Tourism Best Tourism Village. So we are looking at as a holistic way, and we are trying to combine all those experiences around the vineyard routes. And each of these routes is designed and promoted holistically by our agency, ensuring that the visitor experience supports local communities, celebrates rural livelihoods, and sustains both culture and environment. And in this way, the wine tourism, the vineyard tourism in Turkey becomes not only tasting the wine, not only the product itself, about living landscape, meeting its people, and also welcoming families with members from different ages.
Thank you, Elif, for these explanations and insights into what Turkey is doing with regards to development of fine tourism and how you see it also, and the vision behind it, and that you can definitely combine other tourism segments such as cycling tourism or sports tourism with wine tourism, that this goes well hand in hand also. So thank you very much for that. Which brings me now to another country in the region, to Montenegro. I'm happy to welcome Mr. Andrej Orlandic from the Ministry of Tourism to Plovdiv. Montenegro, small country, but obviously you also have a long-standing wine tradition. So how is it in Montenegro with your natural beauty and all the traditions that you have? Where do we stand with wine tourism in Montenegro, and what are the objectives and the challenges that you have?
Well, first of all, it's working? First of all, thank you, Cordula and Nedim and your team for wonderful organization.
Thank you.
Thank you, of course, our dear friend and colleague, Miroslav, Minister Bošoš, for this great event and for the invitation. Благодарю for invitation. Yes, as you mentioned in your introductory speech, Montenegro really have a great tradition in wine and grapes production. We should come back for century or 2nd century AD when we found mosaics with wine pictures on the coast of Montenegro. It's the city of Petrovac. Yeah, it's a great tradition. I want to share with you, my family is actually from the region. Even I was born in Belgrade. I'm originally Montenegrin, of course. And on the shore of the Skadar Lake, in the region inside the region of Montenegro, the famous region is actually Crnica, famous by a red wine named Vranac. And actually Vranac won the gold medal for the quality on a fine festival in London on beginning of previous century, on 1907. So yeah, we have a great traditions. Moving to the nowadays, the biggest company is actually the company owned by the state. It's 13 Jul Plantage, that's the name. 95% of all production of grapes and wine coming to comes to this company, and only 5% rest of the on the private sector. Altogether, we are famous mostly by red wine, as I said, 70%. 25% went to the white wine, and the rest of our sparkling, sweet, and rosé. In a recent years, and we're going to come back on in the next stage, in the next round, but I just want to share with you that we experienced a renaissance since that over past 15 years, from 4 registered producers of wine. Now we have 128, so one owned by state and 127 private ones, and almost 600 grape producers. Speaking about the statistics, just to share with you that wine accounts 3.3% of total export of Montenegro, and almost 26% of total agriculture exports. Just a couple of words about the Plantage, the wine company. They have more than 900 awards and recognitions on affairs. In recent years, awards on famous festivals like in London, Hong Kong, and cross over across over the world. Since I believe that we have a lot of professionals here. Just to share that 14 wine names have been granted protected designation for regions, and 25 certified wines with protected geographical labels, 12 PDO and 2 PGI. Altogether, more than 300 wines you can find in the market of Montenegro. 50 of them are coming from the state company. And we are proud to share, as our Bulgarian colleague does in the introductory speech, that today you can find Montenegro wines in homes of more than 42 actually countries of the world. And last but not least, something that my colleague asked me to share with you, it's about the very specific wine and grapes Krstač, the white grape variety that grows exclusively in Montenegro. So a couple of countries of the region tries to have it, but it sticks only for the home of Montenegro.
Thank you, Andre, for bringing closer the wine variety that you have in Montenegro and how important it is also in your beautiful country. And yeah, I mean, what we have in the room is more than 30 nationalities. I think it's, yesterday Sandra told us in the reception that it's 30 nationalities, but I believe it's 31 because we have also colleagues from Uzbekistan in the room who are doing a roadshow of Uzbekistan in Plovdiv at the same time. And I know that they are in the room also. A warm welcome to Uzbekistan. At the same time, because we are also promoting our wines here, we have one of the speakers in one of the master classes is a blogger, a blogger, Italian person, Emanuele, who will do a master class also, and who is promoting also the wine. So it's a good opportunity also, not only Bulgarian, but also the other wines present here. Thank you for that. Then I want, before I give the floor to our colleague from the UNESCO office, to our sister agency, one more time back to Madam Deputy Minister. When I talk about the challenges and objectives, here in Bulgaria, what do you think are, what are the objectives that you want to achieve, but also a little bit the challenges in order to move forward with wine tourism development? What needs to be done in order to be really successful, you think?
Целите са ясни.
Well, the objectives are clear. Specialized type of tourism that builds upon the other types of tourism, parts of cultural tourism, and it is actually possible for Bulgarian tourism to be all year round tourism and sustainable tourism. Why wine tourism contributes to this? It actually stimulates the small communities, family communities. It's the heart of that types of tourism that makes a country unique as a tourist experience. For me, the role of wine tourism is important to attract young people so they stay in their home places. It encourages them to be included in the local life, producing something, and also through the history of wine as a tourist environment experience. I believe all participants in the conference will see that this takes place, this tourist experience. We're in the classical regions where this takes place. But because you asked me about wine tourism in a very natural manner is included in cultural transnational routes. And let me say that Bulgaria is a candidate to join the cultural tourism of Intervitis of Council of Europe, and I believe that we'll succeed in these ambitions. As regards the challenges, they are as they are of all types of tourism. The role of Ministry of Tourism is to combine efforts to find the exact place of all stakeholders for an integrated product such as tourist product containing the wine tourism product. So interwoven. woven. So challenges actually encourages us as representatives of the government, but also the NGOs, the business, and the professionals in winemaking. Wine tourism integrates the efforts of a number of sectors in the economy of the country.
Deputy Minister, for outlining the challenges that are out there, obviously, that we need to keep working on that. Like we keep working on sustainability. This is not a place where you arrive and unpack. It's a continuous effort. It's a journey that we need to do all together of us, where we as international organizations also come into the game. And this is my bridge now to our Executive Director, Mrs. Irina Todorova, from the UNESCO Regional Office here in Sofia. From your perspective, UNESCO, obviously you are the one dealing with cultural and intangible heritage issues. How do vineyard landscapes and these wine traditions that we are discussing here fit within the broader heritage framework, and what role can UNESCO also play in safeguarding, or is playing in safeguarding these traditions, while at the same time supporting sustainable tourism development?
Thank you so much for the exhaustive questions, but allow me before that to thank the World Tourism Organization to be part of the speakers today. Thanks to the Ministry of Tourism for this wonderful organization, municipality of Plovdiv for this hospitality, and for having us feel so well in this city. Let me build on the last words by Mrs. Georgieva, who regardless spoke mainly about tourism and industry, wine tourism, etc. To a large degree, she defined the objectives, aims and objectives of UNESCO, well laid out in their major documents, to seek integration, integrative approach to attract new young generations to traditions and crafts, not just in management and winemaking, but wine as a tradition, as a material tradition, and to also make big efforts by all governments to involve as many stakeholders as possible in the process of safeguarding this life tradition. And I can bravely say that UNESCO does not transform wine and culture and traditions around wine and winemaking as a main priority, because to a large extent wine as heritage has gone beyond the main conventions by UNESCO. And I could underline that unlike other crafts and traditions, wine and winemaking as a social practice transferred elegantly into all conventions by UNESCO, from this in 1972 on cultural heritage to 2003 in the Convention on Preserving the intangible cultural heritage. So the synergy between the different policies UNESCO has been achieved, and therefore allow me to say that to a large degree wine as social practice, culture and craft is used mainly to encourage to foster other traditions and crafts which are key to safeguarding. And for that reason UNESCO is focused more on gastronomy rather than the wine and winemaking, because it actually is part of the oldest living traditions. And it seems to me that in the initial words by Ms. Cordova, it became clear that today we have over 30 countries united by their joint efforts to preserve wine, not just as industry and winemaking, but as a social practice that is necessary for the municipality, for the communities, for the new generations. Through wine and tradition, they not only create the product for the new generations, but also occasion for local prestige, pride, and most of all, for national unity. For that reason, UNESCO stimulates more and more regional practices and local practices, which it believes span beyond local borders. And I believe this conference today is a proof of this. Of course, there are different mechanisms and instruments by UNESCO that promote this process. The titles, the logos, through the creative cities are also part of promoting winemaking and wine as a social practice and culture. UNESCO registers tens of cities around the world, especially in gastronomy, where easily combine different local communities, which create dairies, local delicatessen, together with the producers. So it's one of the instruments. And we should not forget the academia through UNESCO departments, which support this topic to be more and more popular with the new generations and make this craft and industry extremely lively. So UNESCO's role is to a large degree to set the conditions for the communities, especially local wineries, to disseminate the tradition through finding the synergy between cultural industry, tourism, economy, and the cultural diplomacy.
In this context, in order to safeguard the traditions and the heritage that is out there. So I think this is a good synergy between UN Tourism and UNESCO, obviously, also to work closely together on these issues. Back to Turkey, picking up on this important point of heritage, Dr. Fisanoglu, could you tell us what the importance of grape culture and vineyard heritage in your country's tourism development plays?
In our country, the vineyard and grape culture is among the oldest living traditions, shaping our identity and tourism landscape. The Anatolia and the southeastern Turkey lie within this, what scientists describe as the fertile triangle, where early communities first began cultivating white grape vines around 8,000 years ago, the very beginning of viticulture. And today, this legacy continues with more than 1,200 indigenous grape varieties, of which about 60 are still produced commercially, each representing a different terroir and community story. But vineyard heritage in Turkey goes far beyond the vineyards themselves. It lives through traditional grape-based products such as molasses, pekmez, hardaliye, a natural non-alcoholic drink from grape juice, mustard seeds, and cherry leaves. Vinegar and dried grapes are also Turkey is a leader in the world in terms of production and also exporting. And for visitors, these elements come together as enoutourism experiences, joining harvest, meeting local producers, and discovering how grape culture connects nature, gastronomy, and heritage. And of course, we don't waste a single part of grape wine. We even wrap the leaves to make dolma or sarma, which is also known in the region and in our neighboring countries. And our famous stuffed wine leaves, sometimes with meat, sometimes without, depending on which grandmother you ask for the recipe, but it is prepared all around. So we use the grapes as an sour sauce before they are, sweetened. When we do olive oil, vegetable products, we use those as a lemon instead of lemon. So there's a really very strong, role of the grape wine in our culture. And with our tourism development strategy, we see grape culture not only as a product, as I say, as a storytelling platform, one that connects history, craftsmanship, and sustainability. And every vineyard visit becomes a journey through time, where the past and present of Anatolia are experienced through the senses, because most of the vineyards have a long time history, and there's always a monument, a story that is shared with the visitors. So we know that the grapevine culture in our geography, I mean, now we are in Bulgaria, and we are all neighboring countries. Our trace route, it is connecting 3 countries. And we are so proud to say that this region, this part of the world, has a lot to tell. During the opening speech, the General Secretary Zurab mentioned about the high competition. We are aware of that, but I believe the cooperation within the region, as we all have it in our DNAs, the grape is having a big role. I think a very strong collaboration can come up on stage for the wider competition.
That would be fantastic to see an increased cooperation and to use something as a soft diplomacy tool, wine tourism and grapes, so to say, as the connecting factor. Makes it easier, obviously, because it's not so political, let's say, so the interest should be the same. Thank you for that. Also, thank you for referring to the stuffed wine leaves. Yeah, slowly we are getting hungry here, I guess. I'm from Austria. I'm from the mountains, so no wine culture there, but I live obviously in Spain, so there is a lot of wine culture and wine tourism happening there, with also the destinations that are developing their wine tourism segment heavily, with this nice hotels they are building and everything around with preparing for the visitors, so to say, with lots of spa and wellness aspects. So I think that is also a trend that we observe. In Greece, Deputy Minister Karamanli, since we are discussing now also long-term development, could you tell us a little bit about the national policy strategies and the plans that you have in Greece, and how they integrate with your wider tourism development strategy? How does that look like in Greece?
Πρώτα απ' όλα θέλω να σας καλέσω στην Ελλάδα, to invite you in Greece.
Which is well known. Greece is well known for wine, and when you visit our country, you will have experience. The strategy of Ministry of Tourism focuses on sustainable upgrade of the tourist products, on the diversity of experience, geographical and time expansion of tourist activity. And along these lines, we've made big steps, and actually we have some specific instruments, such as the design of visitors winery, introduced in 2014. So 114 wineries in Greece have this logo for certification by Ministry of Tourism, offering high quality services and trips. So the legislation is being updated, including principles for accessibilities and inclusion for people with disabilities, etc. And this is in the process of development, and a portal for dissemination of visitors' wineries that have the logo by the ministry. I'd like once again to emphasize the role of the National Wine Council, introduced by law in 2023, to further strengthen the synergies between all stakeholders and development of modern tools to promote wine tourism. The Council has a consultative role and reports directly to the Minister. It deals with questions of sustainable development of wine tourism, popularization of the relevant landmarks, such as, and also wineries, visitors' wineries, etc., and contributes to strategic proposals and development of synergies with other forms of tourism. The Council has its ministries involved, and important is disseminating the wine routes in Greece. A key instrument is expected to be agrotourism and gastronomy, included in the fund for sustainability, and the goals are the network to connect the agri-food sector, gastronomy and tourism, which will function as a thematic organization to promote gastronomy and agrotourism at national and international levels, highlighting local products, services and experience make Greece unique. And in parallel with that, I'd like to mention this is a budget of 10 million euro, which is expected to be completed in the second half of 2026, and it is going to be part of the official website visitgreece.gr, the official tourism website of Greece.
To learn about the National Wine Council that is in place since 23. When I look at Montenegro, how do I need to imagine it there? Which strategies does Montenegro have in place? Is there something similar maybe in place, or where do we stand with these national policies and strategies?
Well, in the first intervention, I tried to promote the Montenegro wines.
You did.
And mention a few of them. And our tradition now, speaking about the state regulations and how it is in Montenegro, I should start at the very beginning with stressing out actually that all the policies, all the programs, all the legislation should be viewed and considered through the lens of, through the prism of European integration process of in Montenegro for the last 20 years. Full membership in the European Union was, is, and will be the foreign policy goal in the government of Montenegro. And why I'm speaking about this is actually that we should come back to 2007. So we are in process of negotiating for almost 20 years. And hopefully we are going to end with this perspective till the end of this decade and become the full member and before the financial framework by 2028. Before the 2007, this topic was part of the law on alcoholic drinks, and then we passed in Parliament the law on the wines, which was actually partly harmonized with the acquis. And then we had a new one in 2016, almost fully harmonized with EU legislation in this field. And it was actually stated on the subcommittee meeting by the European Commission. In 2019, we had the peer review mission with the experts from European Commission in this field, and they are stating that we have a highly harmonized law with acquis, and we got a few recommendations from their side. After that, with the action plan and all activities that we had, with finally adopting the new legislation, fully harmonized with the brand new acquis of European Union this August. We hopefully will close these chapters regarding the agriculture and food safety, which are 2 chapters, by the end of this year or beginning of next year. Wine tourism is an important segment of official tourism policy. It is part of actual strategy for development in tourism that will end this year, so we're going to have the new one, and we start working on it. The existing strategy, it is highlight the need to diversify tourist products to prolong the season, because we have a seasonality in Montenegro now. And of course, as my previous speaker said, to connect tourism with agriculture, gastronomy, and local culture. There are a number of programs of the Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Agriculture in Montenegro with support, financial support, and the other supports to the private sector in order to enhance their capacity to offer services such as tasting rooms, boutique accommodation, and educational visits.
Thank you very much for that. So also a lot of things happening in Montenegro, obviously, and I know that you are performing very well. You have amazing arrival numbers and receipt numbers in Montenegro, so definitely a good emerging destination. A final question to our dear panelists, and now we go to cross-border regional cooperation. So very briefly from each of you, your perspective, your vision, how can cross-border wine routes and shared cultural assets become a driver of stronger regional cooperation? And regional cooperation is always something good where we bring the countries closer together. So what concrete steps can we take together to build a truly connected and internationally recognized wine tourism region? Maybe I start with you, Deputy Minister Irena.
In fact, the answer to this question is part of the question. We mentioned the importance of wine tourism for the development of national tourist products to upgrade and their upgrade. But at the same time, we underline the social functions of wine tourism, the possibility for it to get people together, although it has the marks of a culture it stems from. And the development of wine tourism is very important to be implemented at a level of international cooperation, trans-border routes and international products like that and projects. And I believe that in everything we heard from our colleagues in the region, we need a couple of specific operative steps for this to happen. There are a number of joint projects, inter-reg projects, especially for the countries neighboring Bulgaria, and that's an opportunity so that wine tourism be part of an element of these projects. But since I missed in my previous responses, let me underline the huge importance of scientific organizations, institutes, universities to prepare the staff for the wine tourism, not only technology, but also guides who can attract people and explain very well the experience of involved in wine tourism. But actually, international conferences, our 9th global conference, is an example of such cooperation and how it can foster future national steps in development of wine tourism. The process of preparing the conference, we had the initiative of Bulgarian Telegraph Agency, which actually preceded holding this conference. And after this conference, we are preparing a national conference on wine tourism so that implementing the national goals is intertwined with the opportunities for international cooperation.
Maybe? Andrei?
Yep. Sorry. As I already mentioned, European integration process, the important segment of its process is good neighborly relations and of course, regional cooperation. We are part of a dozen of regional initiatives, and broader one, we took the presidency of a couple of them in recent years. I want to mention, emphasize here that is actually the biggest success of Montenegro since its independence. We are now having the 2-year presidency of the Commission of Europe of UN Tourism, our ministry in Montenegro. And regarding this sector of tourism, Montenegro joined the Council of Europe Cultural Routes program in 2011. And the country is also partner in the project Romance Wine Danube, financed through Interreg Danube Region Program. Through the winery Plantage that I mentioned in the very beginning. We are a member of Council of Europe Cultural Route Intervitis, represented by the name Wine Route of Montenegro. And within the Chamber of Economy of Montenegro, National Association of Wine Growers and Winemakers is part of European Confederation of Independent Wine Growers in Brussels. Having in mind the countries of the region, Tecdon, Slovenia, and Montenegro is part of this initiative. And for the very end, I need to promote something that actually came from Bulgaria and Montenegro as a product of meeting of Minister of Tourism of Bulgaria and Montenegro. It's the initiative that now we have 9 members of states of the region. The goal is to promote the region as one touristic packet on a long-haul destination as USA, Canada, Japan, South Korea, China. The first conference was in Rome this July, and the second edition will be in Montenegro at the end of November. So, yeah, I would like just to maybe to conclude with some name of the program that Plovdiv have in 2019 that we should stick together to not see each other we should be together in all this. We used to say in Montenegro that my guest is your guest. So that's how the countries and stage and tourist sector should act in the future.
I fully agree with you on that. Thank you so much for these wise words also at the end. Elif, please, very brief, we need to finish. Yeah, please summarize.
The Balkan and Southeast region, with its close proximity, easy accessibility, and diverse offerings, already forms one of the most promising cross-border vineyard corridors in the world, as I mentioned also before. Within just a few hours, travelers can experience entirely different landscapes, culinary traditions, and cultural identities, and the richness that gives geography exceptional potential. Andre already mentioned about the Itervitis cultural route, which Turkey also has joined last year, and now we are represented with more than 10 institutions all around the country, which also will give us the possibility to connect with the remaining countries like Azerbaijan, Georgia, Armenian, and so on. And also our region is sharing not only the Itervitis route of European Council, but other certified routes. For instance, the Industrial Heritage Route, the INAS route, Iron Curtain Trail, and the Olive Tree route, both naturally intertwined with vineyard landscapes, telling stories, movement, migration, and Mediterranean lifestyle. And all those routes connect the southeastern European countries. And these networks, especially when packed together as a tourism product, represents a powerful one. And especially for markets like Asia, North America, we need to really collaborate, promote our region as a cultural and gastronomy and vineyard route experience. We know that those markets love combined tourism products. So the cooperation and collaboration is really very important and will be very meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to Irena and then Deputy Minister of Greece. Very briefly, please, because they are asking us already to finish.
Yes.
Yeah. Irena, please.
In conclusion, I would like to say that at the bottom of all cooperation, especially in terms of culture and heritage, we should forget about nationalism. In other words, UNESCO insists on thinking about heritage, especially the UNESCO heritage sites, should be considered as common sites. It's all our obligation to preserve them, no matter where they are. So before all, we shouldn't be asking the question, whose heritage is it? We should think of it as common heritage.
Deputy Minister, please, Anna.
Thank you. Θέλω να πω ότι ο νεοτουρισμός στην Ελλάδα μπορεί να αποτελέσει στρατηγικό πυλώνα διεθνούς προβολής όταν συνδέεται οργανικά με τον...
I would like to say that wine tourism can become a strategic pillar of international scene, and a decisive role is played by the instruments we mentioned. International organization as the World Organization of Tourism can be catalysts offering international visibility, recognition, and technical support. Through the cross-border routes, institutional cooperations with UNESCO and UN tourism is using digital media and communication channels of this organization to boost good practices, dissemination of destinations, and quality of tourist products at world level. Such organizations can be healthy competitiveness, stimulating national economies and regional development. Trans-border using wine cultures and resources strengthens cooperation between the countries in tourism, facilitates cultural diplomacy, has economic and social benefits. Greece already uses this framework through its involvement in Intervitis, a route by the Council of Europe, which connects 23 countries and highlights wine as an inseparable element of European cultural heritage. A competent body for joining is Ministry of Culture, which coordinates these relevant activities to support cultural heritage and strengthen extrovertedness of the country through cultural tourism. Let me say that Ministry of Culture was awarded in 2023 by Council of Europe for fostering culture of wine, which is in international cooperation in practice.
Also be outlined, but also showcasing how much is behind the machinery, behind the development of wine tourism, the necessary strategies, the collaboration with the partners, with all the stakeholders, and the potential that it still has, so it can be further developed, it can be a tool for better regional cooperation. With this, ladies and gentlemen, a very round, a warm round of applause to this wonderful and outstanding panelists that shared their insights with us today.
Thank you, Cordova, and thank you to our distinguished panelists.
Now we'd like to invite our speakers to the center of the stage to capture this moment with the click of a shutter, a digital shutter or two. Please.
Where's the photographer? He's ready. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You can take your seats. Thank you very much. Mark, where are we?
Thanking you kindly. And as we continue on our path of inspiration, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to travel all the way to Italy to discover how Tenuta Lunelli is perfectly embodying the connection between arts and wine. One of their wineries, Carapace, was recognized as number 25 amongst the world's top 50 vineyards last year and is shaping the future of wine tourism.
Please welcome on stage Ms. Camilla Lunelli, Communication and Sustainability Director at Gruppo Lunelli, Italy.
Benvenuto, prego. Grazie a lei.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure and an honor to be here today to share with you the experience of our family on how art and wine can come together to broaden the meaning of wine tourism. But before I speak about wine, I would like to begin with a tribute. 3 months ago, on June 22nd, the world lost one of its greatest contemporary sculptors, Arnaldo Pomodoro, a maestro whose artistic language was able to give shape to time, space, and matter. His monumental bronze spheres can be admired in some of the most symbolic places in the world. As we are in a UN context, I'm glad to recall the sphere, which is in front of the UN Secretariat headquarters in New York. They are works that speak of universal values, of dialogue, of the continuous tension between perfection and fracture. And yet, among all his extraordinary creations, there is just one architectural work, the Carapace of Tenute Lunelli in Umbria. This winery sculpture is not just a functional building, but a manifesto, a place where wine and art merge, offering visitors an encounter with beauty, nature, and culture. This year, 2025, marks a special milestone. 20 years since Arnaldo Pomodoro conceived the Carapace, but it all started well before. We have been producing Ferrari Trento DOC, traditional method sparkling wines, since 1902, making it the Italian toast par excellence. As a family of winemakers, however, we also wanted to embrace a new challenge, creating high-end still wines under the Tenute Lunelli name, which is our family name. Our journey began in our homeland of Trentino in the 80s. Here you can see Villa Margon on the left, a beautifully preserved 16th century mansion in the middle in our vineyards near Trento, which serves as the home of the entire Gruppo Lunelli, which besides Tenute Lunelli and Ferrari Trento includes other brands like Prosecco Superiore, Bisol, Mineral Water Surgiva, and so on. Here you can see where Trentino is in the northeast of Italy, in the middle of the Alps. In 2000, we expanded to Tuscany with the Podernovo estate, where we mainly work with Sangiovese. Then, in 2001, we fell in love with Sagrantino, the powerful grape of Montefalco, and acquired some historic vineyards in this small, charming corner of Umbria, very close to Assisi, where San Francis was born. Just 2 years later, we produced our first vintage of Montefalco Sagrantino. We have always believed that buono and bello, what is good and what is beautiful, should go hand in hand. So we invited our longtime friend Arnaldo Pomodoro to design a winery that would embody this vision while also reflecting the spirit of the land. When he visited the estate, he was struck by the archaic and mystic power of this land. This is how he commented: I thought of the Carapace, carapace, as an element emerging from the earth, a great dome recalling the strength of nature, a place when wine is born inside a sculpture. From that intuition in 2005 to reality in 2012, work has been long and tough, but the carapace eventually took form. It's a copper dome cracked like the soil of Umbria in summer, symbolizing this passage of time, a red dart embedded in the ground, adding tension and energy. A shell-like shape, recalling the turtle, symbol of longevity, the same quality that defines Montefalco Sagrantino, renowned for its extraordinary aging potential. And actually, the name carapace comes from turtle shell as a carapace of a turtle. It is no coincidence that the carapace is recognized as the first winery sculpture in the world, an architectural unicum that celebrates the union of art, wine, and territory. Since its inauguration, the carapace has attracted attention worldwide. It received the UNESCO La Fabbrica nel Paesaggio Prize, the Factory in the Landscape Award, and was presented at the Venice Biennale in the section Le Architetture del Made in Italy, the Made in Italy architecture. And as mentioned previously, thanks a lot, last year it was also included among the 50 best vineyards with the title of highest new entry. These recognitions confirm the carapace not only as a landmark of Italian wine tourism, but as one of the most compelling wine destinations in the world. The carapace is a sculpture that can be entered, walked through, and experienced with all the senses. Visitors who arrive here do not just enter a winery, they step into a work of art. The encounter of wine becomes an encounter with beauty and culture. This is what I meant when I say that art can be a manifesto for wine tourism. It declares the wine is not only a product to be consumed, but a cultural experience to be lived. The carapace is also a manifesto of sustainability. It does not dominate the landscape. It blends into it, its dome disappearing among the vineyards of Montefalco. It enhances the territory rather than altering it. The vineyards themselves are cultivated organically, respecting biodiversity. We want to make sure that what is handed down to future generations is not only fertile lands, but a cultural landscape rich with history. Even if all of our wines are certified organic, sustainability is more than just an environmental commitment for Tenute Lunelli. It's also a cultural mission to preserve beauty and to promote the richness of the region with a broad and inclusive vision, making it attractive to a diverse range of visitors. This is why the carapace has always been embraced by local authorities and the wider community. They have recognized how a land rooted in ancient artistic heritage can be enriched by a striking example of contemporary art. From the beginning, we envisioned the carapace as a vibrant, open space. Over the years, it has hosted exhibitions, performances, and cultural events that expand the wine experience in the realm of art, music, and dialogue. We believe that wine tourism is not passive, it's participatory. It's about belonging, about sharing culture, and discovery authenticity. For our family and the Gruppo Lunelli, the carapace is also part of a broader vision. With Ferrari Trento, we made Italian sparkling wine a global icon, even serving as the official toast of Formula One until last year. With the carapace, we brought that same ambition to still wines, beginning with a focus on the wine's intrinsic quality, that is always the base for us, blending the power of Montefalco Sagrantino with the elegance that defines our enological style. But from there, we positioned these wines within a broader context of art and culture. This was not only a bold choice inspired by our deep passion for art and our admiration for Arnaldo Pomodoro's work. It was also a strategic choice, ensuring that the estate would stand out in the world of fine wines. As we celebrate the 20th anniversary of the concept of the Carapace, we celebrate not only an extraordinary artistic work, but also the vision of wine tourism as a cultural immersion, as sustainability, identity, and leadership. When visitors step into the Carapace, they're not only tasting wine, they're stepping into a story of art, nature, and human creativity. This is, I believe, the future of wine tourism. Experiences that inspire, that connect, that remain in memory long after the glass is empty. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Camilla.
Thank you, Camilla. I think not only the wines, but maybe the architecture will win an award next year. Truly amazing architecture.
And I wish you to sing there in Carapace. I can speak, you can see.
Okay.
And as we deep dive into our discussions, I wonder, what can make a wine tourism experience truly unique?
I would say that art is surely a part of the answer, Lily. Pairing tourism with dance, music, design, or any art form creates an emotional link to people and the land that can everlast in one's memory.
I could not agree more. Let us then explore how destinations and businesses can create distinctive experiences that connect wine with diverse forms of art, appeal to evolving audiences, including the sub-curious.
Don't look at me, Lily.
No, I know you. And elevate the identity of wine regions.
As we do so, we will also look at how innovation across the value chain, strategic partnerships, and emerging technologies can enhance authenticity, traceability, and personalization, whilst generating shared value for communities, visitors, and the environment.
To learn more, please welcome our speakers to the stage. Ms. Gergana Todorova, CEO of WineTours.bg, Bulgaria. Gergana Todorova, заповядайте.
Ms. Pilar Rodriguez, chef of Food and Wine Studio Restaurant and UN Tourism Ambassador for Gastronomy, Tourism from Chile.
Mr. Nicolas Manfredini, CEO, Winelist from France.
Welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Ms. Camilla Lunelli.
We now invite on stage our moderator, Ms. Sandra Carvalho, Director of Market Intelligence, Policies and Competitiveness, UN Tourism.
Please make them welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, there's no audience. Good morning. Dobry den. Bulgarian, good morning. We have a shy audience. Well, I think it's moment that we go from the policies. We've heard different responsible this morning on how the strategies at national level are drawn. We're going to go down into the winery. We're going to go down into the distribution and the experience. So we have a fantastic panel with us. And I will start probably with our host, who has taken the huge responsibility of gathering the wine tourism experiences of Bulgaria into one platform, making them more accessible and easy to reach by consumers, but also by the trade who's interested. Gorgana, tell us about that process, how difficult it was to bring all the stakeholders together, and how do you see a unique experience from your perspective that's worthwhile sharing in your platform?
Welcome to Plovdiv, my hometown and the oldest living city in Europe. For me, it's a great honor to be here in this fantastic conference and to share ideas with professionals from the entire world for the future of the wine tourism. For me, the journey with the wine tourism started more than 10 years ago, when it was not real need for my platform, for our platform. And with the development of the wine tourism in Bulgaria now, I think it's a useful tool to gather all the wineries in one place and to sell and promote different activities in Bulgaria. Fortunately, we see a rising creativity in wine tourism in Bulgaria, especially the last 5-6 years, when there's a lot of collaboration emerging on the stage between the wine and the different forms of art. For example, we have live concerts in the middle of the vineyards with the wine dinner. We have even a rock festival with international brands in one of the wineries. We have a nice collaboration between another iconic product of Bulgaria, the Rosso, with the wine tasting experiences, and many other examples that shows the potential of this collaboration to appeal more different audiences with a different profile to the wine experience, because the power of the wine tasting and the wine tourism is to create a new lovers of the wine. Yeah, this collaboration, I think, have even a huge potential in Bulgaria with all our cultural heritage and historical sites.
Thank you, Gorgana. As you were taking us through your process, what changes have you seen in the way or the experiences that people look for in the website in the last 5 years? Is there a shift in the type of experience that it's demanded?
Yes, definitely. At the beginning, we were uploading only wine tasting all the time. The offers were very similar. But as I mentioned, the last year really a big creativity is applied, and now we have wine and cheese tasting. Now we have a blind tasting, vertical tasting, tasting held in different historical places, concerts, as I mentioned, in the vineyards. So the process is evolving, and it's appealing even more visitors. And now we are living in a time when the wine consumption is decreasing, also the Gen Z coming on the stage, and this is forcing the wine industry and the wine tourism to become more creative and to appeal a new profile of visitors.
Perfect. That makes of really making the attraction something else, but then enjoying the experience. Nicholas, you are the leading platform in Europe for booking wine tourism experiences, almost 2,000 wineries that you've helped. Can you tell us a little bit about the platform so that we're familiar with it, but also what for you makes a wine tourism experience unique?
Sure thing, thanks. So we've been trying to, since 2019, to create a platform where it's easy for anybody that is curious enough to want to go to a vineyard to be able to do so. As you might know, coming from different wine regions in the world, wineries are not always accessible, and the information is less accessible. It was back then. Now it's becoming better and better. Since 2019, we started in Champagne, France, and we grew to France, then Portugal, Spain, Italy, Greece, and we even now work with wineries in the UK. That is a wine region that is growing also more and more. And basically what we do is try to guide visitors that want to have a stay, organize a stay in a wine region to the good winery, to the winery that fits what they want to explore. Someone that is new in the wine industry is not going maybe to want to experience a workshop where it's too difficult for them. So we're trying to orient them with the level base of the experience and also the fun side, because since we created platform wine lists in 12 languages from the start, we knew that the North American visitors were our main targets, and they are pretty much a big child, so they need to be entertained. And so we've seen, and I can relate also, we've seen an evolution of wine tourism from traditional wine tasting, purely educational, to something more fun, concerts, festivals and vineyards are something that are popping up in every wine region and bringing more and more people together, and also putting the spotlights on destinations. That is super interesting. And to join on the question you've asked me, I would say that for me a good wine experience is a wine experience when you feel welcome, as if you go to a place like we've seen at your home, like we've seen in the video. So basically, sharing is important. Arts and diversity of these experiences can allow people to relate to something that they might have a memory or something else that they want to discover, and enhance the sharing moment. So.
Thank you, Nicolas. You were speaking about feeling welcome and feeling at home, and I was remembering last year we were in Armenia and we did a panel with youth, and it was very interesting because they said, well, sometimes when we go to wineries, we feel that people treat us like we're ignorant because the language might be too complicated for them, and they feel, afraid to ask questions. So I think that's a very important point as we move through how things are changing with the new consumers, is make it something which is easy, which flows, which, as you say, makes you feel at home and not afraid of going into it.
Not being judgmental also, because people can be afraid of, I'm entering a world where I don't know exactly what to expect. I don't know maybe anything about wine. I just want to discover. And so yeah, winery treating people like you're welcome to learn and discover whatever level you have experience. Well, come in and join.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Camille, do you see the same in your wineries? Also, you have very different segments, and you also have obviously not only the amazing experience that we just saw. I think we were all making notes on. I need to go there and see it, but also in Ferrari, you also have a village that you host people that they can stay. You have a Michelin star restaurant, so a very compelling and complete experience. Do you also see this change in patterns of demand?
Yes, let me say that what Nicolas was saying is true for all wine communication from my point of view, not about wine tourism only. I think even technical press, even when we have like technical tasting, people are more and more interested in getting to know the people, getting to know the places, knowing stories, what's behind the wine, less than technical terms that scare who are not familiar with wine and eventually are boring, even if those as we are that are professional about wine. Concerning our hospitality at the Ferrari Trento, where we produce, as I said, Trento DOC sparkling wine, we offer that mix, as I said, of bello and buono, because the idea is really to address a wider range, not only wine geek, people who are only wine lover, but give an experience that basically everyone can appreciate. So the experience we offer is visiting the winery for sure and tasting the wines, but also going through the vineyards to Villa Margon, the 16th century villa I showed briefly at the beginning of my presentation, and then visit the vineyard, walk through the vineyard if you want, and then conclude this experience tasting the wines in the best place, in our opinion, for tasting wines, which is in a restaurant, pairing them with nice dishes. So we have a Michelin star restaurant in the heart of the vineyards that completes the experience and really is appreciated by all kinds of audience.
Thank you, Camila. That gives me a fantastic entry into our next panelist, Pilar Rodriguez, who comes to join us from Chile. She's a chef, and her food and wine studio was recognized by New York Times as one of the 52 places to go in 2024. So you're facing directly the consumer, you're having a contact with them, and you have an amazing responsibility and honor to bring the Chilean wines and pair them with gastronomy. What is the change that you're seeing, and how that pairing can be beneficial for both sides, Pilar?
Well, I would like to thank first to having me here. It's an honor to be always with the UN team and sharing with you guys what we do in Chile. The food and wine concept, we started 20 years ago in Colchagua Valley, which is one of the main wine valleys in Chile. At that time was the most crazy project ever. Everybody looked at us like they're crazy, they're gonna die, they're gonna go out of the business, because at that time, 20 years ago, there was nothing really in Chile, and that reminds me of the tasting that you're talking about it, and everybody was offering the same thing. Tasting 3 wines, going to with the wine cellar, and explain technically how is, the wines, and it's a little bit boring. And I thought, you know what, we're gonna die if everybody is doing the same thing. What is gonna show, how can we show something different, how we can have people stay longer at the valley, because at that time was like not even 1%, one day was they're staying in the valley. So all the hotels, they're like complaining because it was so boring and what we can do, etc. So 2010 came the earthquake, and everybody was like in the middle of the season, and that was the breaking point, and said we have to do something. And at that time, the food and wine concept, we working just with the wineries and the commercial part. We offer the catering for all the wineries when the people are coming over to buy wine. And that close relationship with the wine industry forced us, in a way, to create a way of cooking. There's the winemaker saying, you know what, my wine, I want my wine like that way, with these flavors, because da-da-da, and sort of they drive us how to cook. And today, looking back, it was one of the best, probably, decisions that I ever make, because it's we create a way of doing something different in tourism-wise. Today, I think the gastronomy is a key factor in any wine valley. You cannot sell wine without food, because basically you buy wine for food. So that's a huge, huge opportunity for every winery to, not just to have a restaurant, but to create programs that can, I don't know, enamorar is like, to create something, that relationship, memorable experiences through the taste. And we're talking to the taste to take emotions. And that emotions, when you create memorable experiences, they never forget that. And they remember forever. So they sort of file in the brain, And so that's I think, that we're looking for today in terms of experiences in wine. And that's the challenge of today's wine market. Today, the wine market is shrinked. They're not selling that many wines after the COVID. and the wineries who has a tourism department within the company, I think they're doing better, and they know that. And if you create memorable experiences, beside that, typically taste 3 wines, go to around the winery, and then come back. No, just as our colleague says, create not just festivals and off-season. Off-season is an incredible opportunity to create new things. Before, off-season was like something super dead at the Valley. Today, we're creating new things. For example, the truffle season, the pruning season, and all of towards, because we need more business in the winter. So I think is more challenge, but it's a beautiful challenge today.
Thank you so much, Pilar. I think also a very important point, it creates the connection with the product and the community. And what you were saying is, at the end, truffles, for example, are the ones bringing the experience and connecting with wine. And also, as you're mentioning in Camila, the challenge of not having people just pass by, stay 1 hour or 2 and then continue, but really stay in the territory and enjoy it. And I think this brings us to a discussion we actually had in Chile in the conference back in pre-pandemic, 2019, which is sometimes wineries are obviously the focal point, but it's the territory that needs to be integrated. And sometimes we need to take the wine out of the winery and make that connection with the accommodation, with the restaurant, if not in the winery, in the community, so that people, when they visit, it's like, well, I do want to go to the winery, but
I think this connection, the social impact that you can do if you connect everything what you have available in your country or in your valley, it's really important, economic-wise, social-wise. I think you create future for people. If you introduce, all what they have, is a sort of pride that really it's a local pride that you start to create. It's a really nice feeling, and to I don't know, especially in this time that wine industry is like a little sad, to create all these programs and take opportunities to create development, social development, educational. I think is really important for local communities, because wine industry is in the rural areas. So all these programs can create future, can create a social, changes too.
Thank you, Pilar. So if you're a winery, make sure you know the restaurants in your area, the hotels, and you can work together, and the producers, very important. I want to go back to what we were talking about now in terms of experiences, Nicholas. What advice would you give the wineries that actually are in your platform so that they would do better, because you know what people are looking for?
Well, there is several things to... wineries often come to us and ask us what can we do better, because they finally arrive at a point where the destinations and all the offer in the destination starts to look alike. Because it all started with wine tasting. After, wine and food pairing was also something, and everybody started doing it. In Italy, there's a lot of restaurants, and now in France, they're starting to create restaurants also. Portugal is leading with the hotel kind of vibe, if we put the US part. So wineries try to improve, and that's a wonderful thing about wine and wine tourism, is that we work with people that are conscient about working with the weather, so changing, evolution, and they want to make things change every certain amount of time, to be better, to do better. And basically, we don't have any practical advice, because I would say the fashion would change and would evolve. But working with the surroundings of the winery, like Camila explained also of why you've created this place, using the story, the territory, not trying to harm it and to destroy it to be existing and build a large winery, but working with all the terroir, what we call terroir in French, and making it incredible so that you are able to transmit it better to visitors that are coming to your winery. That's basically what we say. There's no need to, revolutionize, just feed yourself from what exists and transform it for people to understand what you're trying to achieve.
Thank you, Nicolas. So go back to your roots and sometimes don't try to be something you're not.
Exactly.
Gorgana, here in Bulgaria as well, you see many different experiences being offered in the platform. What for you works better when you are there faced to the exterior? What kind of information, what kind of communication is essential to have?
The most important is to be authentic, as you said, to be honest, and to have the capacity to share your love with the audience. I have just a short story to illustrate this. We had a client from Switzerland, a lady coming to Plovdiv. She wanted to visit one winery. We bring her to the winery, and she said, I don't want to go in. She was expecting something else, maybe some of our modern wineries, but it was not. I convinced her to go in, and we spent 1 hour and a half tasting Bulgarian wines with two ladies, the winemaker and the owner. She was tasting traditional dishes like banica made from the mother of the owner, and after that she was totally blessed, totally in love with this place, with these ladies. The day after she called me and she said, thank you for this visit, it was real magic for me. Actually, in that moment she was in a career gap, and she said, I want to do this, I want to find such hidden gems in Bulgaria or in Europe and to bring people to them because they're really inspiring, they're really transforming people coming there. And this is the real art of the wine tourism, to have the capacity to bring those emotions, to inspire, and sometimes even to transform people.
Thank you. It's also, I think there's a huge opportunity for really curated content, no, to differentiate yourself in the market. Camila, we were talking before, and you were telling me that you see a trend for people to look for upper market experiences, which is also interesting because sometimes the positioning of wineries or providers is to try and put themselves in the lower band so they can have more people. But you were telling me that you are seeing that change.
Yes, that's a trend we're seeing both at Ferrari Trento and at the Carapace. We have different proposals depending on the wines that are tasted at the end of the visit, and the tendency in recent years is to go for the special experience that you hardly can have outside of the winery. I talk about tasting old vintages, special riserve that are not easily on the market or that are not very accessible by the glass everywhere else. So the impression is that people that want to visit a winery take a longer time and they really make themselves like a gift and head for the higher version of the proposal.
It's an interesting change in market. Pilar, do you see that in Chile as well in terms of the people and the type of experience they request for aiming at higher end?
I think in terms of experiences, you need to touch the heart of people at some point. Sometimes you don't need like a huge winery or in terms of architecture or the building or the hectares. If you give them something special for them, they will remember forever, and this is the best advertising, for sure. The best advertising you can do, touch people's hearts.
I think that's also a very interesting shift in the market, because then you have an opportunity for smaller wineries who can do different kind of experiences, or for wineries where you have unique experiences in terms of architecture or other kinds of art design. So it's also very interesting that the market opens up in that sense. I'm conscious of time and the fact that we are between you and wine tasting. But I just wanted to ask each of you to leave us with one word on what is a unique experience for you as consumers, obviously being very aware of the wine tourism business, but when you go to have an experience, what stays with you? Gargana?
The passion.
Pilar?
Yeah, don't talk to me like I don't want to know how to do wine, how it's made wine, how many months in barrels, or if it's in stainless steel, or I don't want to know about it. I want to know where it come from, how's the weather, how's the people. This is something that I think this is the change that we need to do. Don't talk technically to people. Don't talk technically to me, because I don't want to be a winemaker. I want to be there because I want to have fun. I want to have, a special moment. I want to drink wine. I don't know if it's like a 100-point wine, or if it's 87. I don't care about medals. This is my feeling today about the consumer today. They want something like real. They want, touch my heart. This is what I want to do when I go to some places new and everything. Sometimes these memorable experiences are not in the technical part.
So fun and heart. Nicholas?
Pilar said it all, but I would say fun, yeah. Learning while having fun, and sharing is important, I guess, because in the end, well, it depends on the experience. If you're with a guide or with the winemaker itself or with the family, your level, if you want to know everything about what's in the barrel, or if you want to just taste and feel if it's good for you. So I would say sharing is important, yeah, sharing in the moment.
Sharing, very nice. Camila?
In one word, I would say authenticity.
Perfect. So thank you very much. I think we're all inspired by those words, and I hope also some ideas on how we build our experiences in the winery, but outside as well, not forgetting that the winery is part of a territory where many, many other things add an amazing authentic value. Big round of applause for our panelists, and thank you for your participation.
With local grape varieties to modern, world-class restaurants, Bulgaria invites you to savor its culinary treasures. Experience the modern heart of Bulgaria and let its flavors enchant you. Welcome to Bulgaria, where 3,000 years of winemaking meets the vibrant spirit of today. From charming wineries crafting unique flavors with local grape varieties to modern, world-class restaurants, Bulgaria invites you to savor its culinary treasures. Experience the modern heart of Bulgaria and let its flavors enchant you.